Up with KREM begins now.
Right now on Up with KREM, a deadly shooting in Pullman. One person is dead, others injured. This morning, WSU students describe what it was like when shots rang out.
He ran into the house and said, "Everyone get down, shut off the lights." Those were gunshots.
And Gabriel Potito's hometown says goodbye at her public memorial, while police continue the search for her fiance, Brian Laundrie.
And we're going to take you outside, talk a warm start to the day, but I'm going to let you know why temperatures aren't going up much this afternoon.
Breaking news at the 7:30 hour. Right now, fire crews battling a building fire near downtown Spokane. It's good to have you here with us on this Monday morning. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Now, they say the building had been on their radar for some time now. So this morning, Nicole Hernandez is there at the scene. She's near East Trent and North Regal. So Nicole, what can you tell us right now about how crews are continuing to try and get this fire out?
Yeah, guys, this fire has been burning for 11 hours now. Started at 8:30 last night, and take a look. You can still see smoke and flame coming out the top of that building here. Now that the sun is up, we can see a little bit better. We can see just how much billowing smoke is coming out of the building. We had crews earlier today using the ladder and attacking this fire from the top. Now, though, crews seem to be actually attacking the fire from the ground. So the reason they've been just outside the building is because it's actually not safe for them to be inside right now. Overnight, the fire did get better. They were down to 4 crews overnight, but this morning winds kicked up, really helped push the fire and made it bigger. So when we showed up this morning around 4:45, there was just a ton of flames coming out of the building. So there is a crew around making sure that no embers light any of the brush in this area, but they do say that they will be here well into the day making sure this fire gets under control. So Spokane Fire Chief Brian Schaefer said earlier, this building has been unoccupied for years. Crews were able to search about 80% of the building before the conditions were too unsafe for them to be inside. They said they found nobody and no one has reported injuries as of this point. Now, Schaefer also said this building has been on their radar for quite some time.
It was on the fire department system as a dangerous building, meaning we tracked these buildings, identified what the foot traffic, what some trespassers may or may not have done to the building in terms of rendering it unsafe.
Now, Schaefer said some of that damage includes holes in floors and unsafe stairwells. Now, Trent here is completely back open here. It is not affected. So we are right off Trent, west of Freya, between Freya and Napa. So right now the roads are totally open, clear, but we do notice people slowing down just to take a look at the fire. So if you are traveling in this area as the morning commute gets going, just be careful of that. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Now, of course, we'll continue to follow this story all morning long here on Up with KREM. But for the very latest, you can always go to our website at krem.com or the KREM 2 app.
Now to another developing story we're tracking at this hour. A deadly weekend on the Palouse. One man died and a WSU football player was wounded after being shot in Pullman.
Now, police have already arrested George Melvin Harris in connection with this shooting.
22-year-old LeBon Barr died from his wounds. WSU wide receiver Brandon Gray was brought to a Spokane hospital and is in serious but stable condition.
Now you can take a look at this map here. The shooting happened in a College Hill neighborhood early Saturday morning. Police were called to the 1200 block of Northeast Myrtle Street. There was a loud party in the area with hundreds of students in attendance.
When officers arrived, they heard multiple gunshots and they found 2 victims near Williams Drive and Lindbecker Road. KREM 2 spoke with students who heard those gunshots.
There was fighting up the street is what we saw. And I didn't really hear much of it, but then I just heard what really sounded like a lot of gunshots, and then everyone who was in this area just kind of ran.
So it was definitely pretty shocking and surprising, and definitely kind of nerve-wracking at the time, especially when we're all just, kind of hiding in our house and not really sure what the exact situation is, and not sure if there's an active shooter or what's going on.
It's not clear what prompted the shooting or if anyone else was involved. Washington State Patrol, though, is investigating.
They are also asking anyone who witnessed the shooting to call Pullman police. That number is there on your screen.
Gabriel Potito remembered on Sunday as family and friends gathered for her memorial on New York's Long Island. She was found dead in Wyoming a week ago.
Now, during Gabby's service, her father said that he wants people to be inspired by how Gabby treated others.
If there's a relationship that you're in that might not be the best thing for you, leave it now.
Well, this morning, police are still searching a wildlife reserve in Florida for her fiance, Brian Laundrie, and they want to question him in Potito's disappearance. He is also wanted for debit card fraud.
Now, Gabby and Brian were on a cross-country road trip when she went missing. The coroner ruled Gabby's death a homicide, but authorities have not yet said just how she died.
As the disappearance and death of Gabriel Potito created national attention, it's also bringing light over the often overlooked women who go missing that are a minority or indigenous.
Currently, there are 115 indigenous men and women who are missing in Washington. That's according to the Washington State Patrol. From Spokane alone, 11 people are missing.
Washington has the second highest number of missing indigenous women and girls. Seattle has the highest number of missing women and girls in the country.
All right, the time is now 7:36. Let's get a look at the forecast on this Monday. Guys, wait, it's been all morning and we have not said it yet.
TGIM! TGIM. I don't know who needs to hear that motivation this morning.
I know.
Because sometimes Mondays are a struggle. But
they can be rough.
Yeah.
Tim, we got you covered. TGIM.
Who said I was struggling?
Tim, you were at the Kraken game last
we know.
night, so,
you were out there having a blast.
We got you. Nobody's noticed. We're just, saying TGIM.
We're here to
Tim.
support you, Tim.
We're here for you. TGIM, everybody. Happy Monday morning. And early on this morning, temperatures are staying quite mild. We're at 63 degrees right now. We did dip down to about 61 degrees early on this morning, which, if that stands, that would make it the latest 60-degree morning we have ever seen in Spokane. That would be today, September 27, 2021. The last time we hit 60 degrees was September 23rd back in 1928, or the previous record for the latest date. Now, I'm pretty certain that's not going to stand later on today. And the reason is we're mild now. Sandpoint, you're at 52 with a little bit of scattered shower activity. Wenatchee's seeing some of those showers as well because of the wind gusts. We're mild because of those stronger wind gusts that we saw overnight. It was the wind and some of that spotty moisture that kept temperatures from dropping. A strong southerly wind is a great way to keep temperatures mild overnight. And now we're seeing a couple of breaks in the clouds. That's going to help temps climb. However, as we move through the day, we are going to see a couple of stray showers in the middle part of it. Then our front arrives later on tonight. And as that front moves in, it's likely our temperatures take a dive along with its arrival. So for us, what we wind up seeing is rain return and temps, falling down into the 50s. It's likely we drop into the mid 50s before midnight, making that record, not official. And something that we can all just say, yeah, Monday was pretty warm, and then forget about it in the next few days.
This morning, we will hear from the Washington State Hospital Association on its response to COVID in the state.
So last week, the State Department of Health warned transmission rates are rising in every one in every 106 Washingtonians. They currently have the virus. Health leaders continue to say the key to beating the coronavirus is to get vaccinated.
As of September 20th, 75% of the state's population 12 years old and up have received at least one dose of the vaccine. 68% is fully vaccinated. Time is now 7:38. That means it's time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Protesters from the Medical Freedom Movement took to the streets of downtown Spokane on Saturday, and the group started at Riverfront Park and then marched down Howard Street. They shared their frustrations on mask and vaccine mandates.
The people that are making these mandates want you to think that you're a crazy person, that you're isolated, that you're the only one thinking this, and we're not.
So the event was promoted by former Spokane Valley Representative Matt Shea, and this comes as the deadline to get vaccinated looms. State employees have to be fully vaccinated by October 18th or could face losing their jobs.
A Moses Lake man arrested for defrauding the government of at least $360,000 in jobless benefits. Authorities say former employee Reyes de la Cruz III worked with the State Employment Security Department. He was hired as an intake agent in April of 2020 to help with the surge of unemployment claims. But instead, authorities say he used his access to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars. De la Cruz is being charged with 6 counts of wire fraud, 9 counts of bribery of an agent of an organization receiving federal funds, 1 count of extortion, and 4 counts of aggravated identity theft.
This Wednesday, Idaho Governor Brad Little will visit North Idaho, and he will visit the Heritage Health Monoclonal Antibody Treatment Center. It's used to help COVID-19 patients, but Heritage Health says this isn't the fix to COVID-19 in the region, but it is something to slow down hospitalizations. And that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
Well, it was a big sports weekend all across the Pacific Northwest as some big games were taking place.
Yeah, so here's 3 things to know. An exhausting game on the road for the Seahawks, 3 games into the season, and the team's defense really struggling. The Vikings racked up 453 yards and 30 points against Seattle, but the game started actually in the Hawks' favor. Seattle took an early lead after a DK Metcalf touchdown on the opening drive. Chris Carson brought another for a 17-7 lead, but the Hawks didn't score a single point in the second half. The Seahawks have now lost 2 straight games.
Well, in the second round of the WNBA playoffs, it was a win or go home game, and the Storm didn't go down without a fight, even without Breanna Stewart. And the game went into overtime where Sue Bird found Katie Lou Samuelson for 3. Seattle had the lead early, but Phoenix pulled ahead and held on to it. Phoenix knocks off Seattle 85-80.
Left center, deep, Marsh at the track, leaps and can't get it. It's off the wall and then off him. Scoring is Seeger, Haniger behind him, Toro.
A big win for the Mariners. Jake Fraley drives in 3 runs with that hit off the wall on Sunday. The M's beat the Angels 5-1. The Mariners are now 2 back in the wild card chase with just 6 games to play. Tonight, the M's will host Oakland at T-Mobile Park.
It's a magical return for Broadway. Coming up after the break, we're telling you how the Tony Awards are honoring the best of theater.